So this is the design procedure for CE amplifier. Please note down. Design procedure. Design of CE amplifier. Take the heading. Design of CE amplifier. Design of CE amplifier. Okay. So draw the circuit. This is the circuit. Draw the circuit. CE amplifier circuit. Draw it. Drawn. Completed. C5. C5. C8. Low. C8. Okay. D0. D0. Completed circuit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, getting a design procedure and note down the steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3. This is a procedure to calculate the parameters, to calculate the circuit components. Note down this. Okay, see, step one. Step one is calculation of load resistance, RC. Okay. So in the design procedure, we are using a simplified model, simplified version. So voltage gain is equal to, that is the formula is okay, actually the formula is exact analysis or simplified model. AB is equal to AI into ZL by ZI. Okay, so that is what okay. So actually, so AB equal to, so AI into ZL divided by ZI is the formula. So in simplified model, the ZL the AI is nothing but minus HFE, okay, minus HFE ZL divided by ZI is nothing but HI. This is the formula in simplified model. You please go back and check it. Voltage gain is equal minus HFE ZL by HI is the formula. But in the design process, what will calculate? We are calculating calculation of the load resistance RC. Okay, you remember one thing, in the design of C amplifier in the complete circuit diagram, we are not going to calculate the values of RS and RL. We are not going to calculate the values of RS and RL. So means RS is the range, typical range will directly take from, so from 500 ohms to, okay, 500 ohms to 1K. In between the value, we'll take, you can take any value directly. Need not to calculate anything. Okay, need not to calculate anything. And the load resistance is also is parallel. It is in between 10K to 100K. You can take it. Okay, so 10K. This is the typical range. Typical range of source resistance and the load resistance. So source resistance is 500K, 500 ohms to 1K. Load resistance is 100K to 10K to 100K. This is the typical range. Okay, so in the C amplifier, we are not going to calculate these two parameters. So the remaining 4 resistor values R1, R2, RC, RE, and 3 capacitor values C1, C2, and CE. CC1, 2 coupling capacitors, 1 bypass capacitor. That we, so total 7 parameters we are going to calculate. Okay, so now come back to the equation. So AV is equal to HFE by HFE RC. So the load resistance, we are not taking RL. So if RL is not there, the ZL is nothing but RC only. Okay, actually RC ZL is what? ZL is equal to RC parallel to RL is the formula. ZL is equal, but RL we are not calculating. So RL is not there in the circuit diagram. So ZL is nothing but RC only. So in the place of ZL, I kept RC. So ZI is nothing but HI and HFE. So now see again, so in the equation we have minus HFE, but I am taking the plus HFE. Okay, the reason is, so why you are getting the minus value here? What is the reason you are to get your minus? The reason is that is, if you go back to the circuit diagram, so this is the current source like this, okay, and this is the resistor ZL. This is ZL. So the current is what we call IL. This is IL and this is IC, and both are opposite direction. So I'm taking the IL is nothing but minus IC. That is the reason I get minus HFE. But here I'm not taking the load resistance. So there is no load. So there is no load is nothing but there is no load current. So so what is the output current? IC will be your output current. IC will be your output current. If there is no load resistance means IL is also 0. So the infinity or 0, whatever. So the load resistance is open circuit. The current is equal to 0. If there is no current or load current, then what will be the output current? IC itself, it is the output current. Is it clear? So output current. So the collector current itself, it's output collector current itself. It's a output current. So so what happens is, so that is the reason we are not getting the minus here. Okay, so IC by B is nothing but the positive value only. So AB is equal to HFE RC by HIE. So from that I can write RC equal to AB into HI by HFE. Okay, so this is the first. From this you can calculate. So HI value will be known, HFE will be known. So voltage gain will be given the question. So from that you can calculate RC. Okay, next step 2, determination of the RE. So RE, how we can calculate? For good design, VC equal VCC by 2. So this already we discussed. What is that? In the thermal stability, VC less than or equal to VCC by 2, we discussed the topic. Thermal stability after biasing schemes, that heat that we call the thermal resistance theta value, PD, PC, some taking some derivation part, and we calculated. The rate of change of power, power generated at the collector must not exceed the rate of change of power delivered to the ambient surrounding areas. So that statement I given, and we derived some derivations. So there we got this condition: VC less than or equal to VCC by 2. Okay, so VCE and VE should be 10% of VCC. So this is the for good design. So VCE 50% of VCC, VE 10% of VCC. Okay, so and see here. So that this is the one and this is the one, and then write KVL to the outer loop, output loop. Okay, so if you write output loop, 1 minute. Okay, so if you write the output KVL equations, okay, if you write the output KVL equation, so you will get the equation like this. Okay, I will go back and write the equations. I will show you. Okay, this is the circuit now. This is the circuit. If you write the KVL to this, so what is this voltage drop across this? This is VRC. This is VRC. Okay, so from here to here, this is VCE. This is VCE, and this is V. Okay, so from this I can write VCC equal to VRC equal to VRC plus VCE plus, okay, V. This is the KVL. VCC equal to VRC plus VCE plus VE. So from this VRC equal to, I can write VCC minus VC minus V. So this is VRC value I can write. Otherwise, you can write one more thing. So anyway, VC is VCC by 2, means this is 50% of VCC. This is 50% and this is 10%. Total 60%. So 60%. So VCC minus 60% of VCC. 60% of VCC ante meeku anta vastundi, VRC equal to 40% vastundi. 40% of VCC. Like this also you can write, no issue. Anyway, VC is 50%, VE is 10%, and whatever the remaining portion, the 40% will be your VRC, the voltage drop across RC resistor. Okay, voltage drop across RC resistor. So the final thing, so like this you can. Okay, so the VRC equal to VCC minus VCE minus VE. Okay, right? So now come to this. So once VRC is known, so ICQ is equal, collector current is equal to VRC by RC. Collector current is equal to, you know, that resistor value, so already calculated from step 1, and VRC just now you calculated. From that you can calculate collector current. Then RE equal to VE by I. So where IE is equal to approximately equal to IC. IC already calculated, so IE approximately equal to IC. So you can calculate RE resistor. Then step 3 is selection of R1, R2. So RC, RE calculated, two resistors are over. And then next coming to R1 and R2. How to calculate R1 and R2 is, so we know the stability factor is equal to, okay, so stability factor is equal to what? Okay, so stability factor equal to 1 plus beta by 1 plus beta into Re by Re plus Rb. This is the stability factor equation for voltage divider bias network. Voltage divider bias network stability factor is equal to 1 plus beta by 1 plus beta into Re by Re plus Rb. So from this, stability factor will be given in the question. So it will be given in the question. The beta values fixed, that will be given in the question. Okay, Re you calculated R just now. So in the step 2 you calculated Re. Now what is the parameter, unknown parameter Rb, that you can calculate from this? Rb you can calculate. Okay, so Rb you can calculate. Next, if you know that Rb, and next coming to the Vb equal to Ve plus Vb, because we know that Vb equal to Vb minus Ve. So we know that that is the equation. Vb equal to Vb minus V. So from this Vb is equal to what? Vbe plus Ve. Okay, so Vb equal to Vb minus Ve. So Vb equal to Vb plus V. Then you can calculate Vb. Clear? So now, okay, fine. So Vb is also completed. So now, if you know that Vb, so Vth is equal to Vcc into R2 by R1 plus R2. So these are all formulas what we got from voltage divider bias network, the derivation, operating point derivation lo techami values mottham. Just to go back on voltage divider bias network in the biasing scheme and verify all these formulas are there in that derivation. Okay, you can recall. So from that Vb is there. Okay, so Vcc, so Vb will you known from the previous step, and Vcc will be given, that is the supply. And now you can calculate R1 R2 by R1 plus R2, the portion you can calculate. R2 by R1 plus R2 portion you can calculate, right? Because this is known and this is known. So this is known and this is known, you can calculate this portion. Okay, and now, but we know that Rb is equal to R1 parallel to R2. Rb is equal to R1 parallel to R2. So that is Rb equal to R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. So in this equation, Rb known, you know that. So from this you calculate Rb. This is known factor. Okay, and this portion also you know that. This portion R2 by R1 plus R2. So from this you know that. Okay. So in the place of R2 by R1 plus R2, just you can substitute that whatever the numerical value you get from this previous one, you can substitute here. So from equation 2, what is the unknown factor? Only R1 is the unknown factor. You can calculate R1. Okay, you can calculate R1. If R1 is known, by using this equation or this equation, you can take any one of it. You substitute R1 and you can calculate R2. Substitute R1, you can calculate R2. Okay, so this is how we can calculate R1, R2. So over. So RC is calculated, RE calculated, R1 calculated, R2 calculated. 4 resistors are completed. Now, what next? What we need to calculate? Capacitors we need to calculate. Capacitors. Okay, so okay. So for these capacitors, so first thing is so for these capacitors, selection of CE, bypass capacitor, how to calculate that. From the day one I told that, so the impedance of the capacitors, so bypass capacitors offers the low reactance to RE resistor. So that low reactance is nothing but Xc is equal to Re by 10. So means 10% of Re will take will take the capacitor value which offers the 10% of Re resistance as impedance. From the day one I am telling that this equation, so that is Xc equal to Re by 10. So bypass capacitor should offer the low reactance to Re. So low means how much? That is 10% of Re. Xc equal to Re by 10. Okay, where C is equal to, so Xc impedance formula is, so where Xc is equal to so impedance whatever the capacitance equal to 1 by 2 pi Fc is the formula. Impedance is nothing but 1 by 2 pi Fc formula. So from this C is equal to, so this is the bypass capacitor, so C equal to 1 by 2 pi F into Xc. So this is the same formula. Impedance of the capacitor is Xc equal to 1 by 2 pi Fc. From that I am calculating C, bypass capacitor. So from this 1, 2 pi is constant, XC is just now you calculated, FL will be given in the question, the lower cutoff frequency. The lower cutoff is the lower cutoff frequency. Okay, next. The next one is calculation of CC1, first input capacitance. Calculation of CC2, output capacitance. Okay, so input capacitance is nothing but 1 by 2 pi FL into Ri, input resistor. Output capacitance means 1 by 2 pi FL into RC, output capacitance. So these three formulas are same. You see, 1 by 2 pi FL, 1 by 2 pi FL, 1 by 2 pi FL common. The capacitor, three capacitors, see the formulas, 1 by 2 pi FL, 1 by 2 pi FL, 1 by 2 pi FL. Since it is the bypass capacitor, so XE, so the capacitance of the relation across the RE resistor, it is that across the RE resistor. Since it is the input capacitance into input resistor, output capacitance into output resistance into output capacitance, output resistors. So like this we can calculate the three capacitor values. Three capacitor values. Okay. So the total 6 steps are there here. Step 1 to calculate RC, step 2 to calculate RE, step 3 to calculate R1 and R2, step 4 to calculate bypass capacitor, step 5 to calculate C1, that is input coupling capacitor, step 6 is to calculate output coupling capacitor. Total 6 steps. Okay, so now note down the question and this design question, note down this. Design question. Design a single stage C amplifier for the following specifications. Gain greater than or equal to 70. Stability factor yes less than or equal to 10. And the lower cutoff frequency FL equal to 15 Hz 15. Assume the transistor DC107. Take HI equal to 1100 ohms. Okay. HFE 50. HRE 2.5 into 10 power minus 4. HY 25 microamps per volt. Okay, and beta is equal to here, note down, assume beta is equal to 100, you take, assume beta is equal to 100, VCC equal to 12 volts. These two also note down. Beta equal to 100, VCC equal to 12 volts. 12 volts. Note down. Note on this, design single stage C amplifier for the following specifications. Gain AB greater than or equal to 70. Stability factor as less than or equal to 10. The lower cutoff frequency FL equal to 15 Hz. Assume transistors RC BC107. Take HIE 1100 ohms, HFE 50, HRE 2.5 into 10 power minus 4, HY 25 microamps per volt. And assume beta equal to 100, VCC equal to 12 volts. Okay, so in this one, maybe you are not aware of this FL. FL means 15 Hz, that is the lower cutoff frequency. You may not aware of it. So means in this C amplifier, the main motto is to calculate the gain as well as the bandwidth. So the two most important parameters for amplifier is the bandwidth and the gain. Gain is nothing but there are the two types. Means gain is nothing but so the how much that voice should be amplified. Okay, so how much it is amplified means so that voice should be increased drastically, that the signal should be increased amplified drastically. Okay, that is one parameter. And the second parameter is the range and what frequencies. So means for every human being, so when you are speaking means your voice has some frequency. When you are speaking means your voice has some frequency, and that too, that frequency, that voice, whatever the speaker voice is within the range of the see that when you're designing an amplifier, you should take care of the two things. One is gain and second one is the bandwidth. Bandwidth is nothing but the set of frequencies. The bandwidth is nothing but that set of frequencies which amplifies without any distortions. The set of frequency. So within that set of frequency, if your human voice is there in that within the limit of the frequency, then only signal will be amplified properly. Okay. So for example, the bandwidth is the 15 hertz. Okay. So 15 hertz to 200 kilohertz. For example, this is bandwidth is 15 hertz to 200 kilohertz. Okay. 1 minute. Okay, see, the bandwidth is within the range. So for means the bandwidth is, range is between this. Okay, so this is the 15 hertz to 200 kilohertz. So means this is the lower cutoff frequency. This is upper cutoff frequency. Means the human voice, the speaker voice should be within this range, like in between. So it should be greater than 15 hertz, less than 200 kilohertz. So that is the range. So if the human voice is lies between 15 hertz to 200 kilohertz, then only the signal will be amplified. Okay, if that human, so if that speaker speaking very slowly, so like if his frequency is 10 hertz, let us say, okay, his frequency is 10 hertz, so he is speaking very slowly. So that signal, though you are giving the amplifier also, though he is using the amplifier, that signal will not be amplified. That signal will not be amplified. Suppose if he speak loudly on his own, if he speak loudly on his own way, so so sometimes you can observe that sometimes in some what we call the meetings, okay, or some political meetings, because sometimes you can observe that in the process of delivering lecture or speaking in his speech, sometimes the people will what we call emotionalize. Okay, so it will become like yeah, unwanted. I mean, what we can say that so sometimes he will speak loudly, emotionally, or sometimes so in this process of speech, this process of giving the seminar or whatever, sometimes it also unwantedly, so they will speak loudly. At that time the speakers will give some buzz voice. So some noise, the buzz, and the people cannot understand and what he's saying. Why? Because that speaker will give some buzz, like some signal it will give, some noise. Keep on it giving noise. This means that his speaker voice is above the 200 kilohertz. So above that. So why? Because in the what we call so emotionally he's speaking loudly on his own without, so you forget it about that the speaker and everything, and he will speak loudly. So sometimes. So means his voice is more than 200 kilohertz. So that signal also will not be amplified. At that time, the speaker will give some buzz signal, some buzz voice. Okay, so that is the reason. So the human voice should be within the range of the 15 hertz to 200 kilohertz. So this range we call it as bandwidth. Okay, so bandwidth is equal to, so this is fh. Fh is upper cutoff frequency minus lower cutoff frequency. So 200 kilohertz minus 15 hertz. So that is the bandwidth. That is the range of the bandwidth. Fh minus fl. Okay, so that the response will be like this. Okay, so the response, the graph, if you draw the graph gain versus the bandwidth, it will be like this. Okay, so this is the big process. So this is another topic, the frequency response. I will tell you the later. Okay, just I'm giving just basics, and what is this line, how to draw it, I will tell you. Okay, so that I will tell you later. So this is FL and this is FH. Okay, this point is FH and this is point is FL. So the difference is this is the bandwidth. So in this bandwidth only, so that the signal is amplified. So now see, after this gain is so frequency beyond this the gain, see the gain, so it is decreased. Less than the lower cutoff frequency, the gain is decreased. Okay, so in between this only the gain is some reasonable gain is there, reasonable gain. We are within the bandwidth gain. Okay, so this topic I will again I'll explain this frequency response. Actually, this is not there in your syllabus, but I will tell you in the fourth model. So fourth model will get some frequency response topics are there. So I will discuss again this what is the bandwidth, what is the lower cutoff frequency, what is the upper cutoff frequency. Again, I will tell you at the time. Okay, so okay, fine. So this is the design question. Okay, so now you can start. You can start your design. You can start it. Why? Because you have the design procedure and you have the question, and you take the values and substitute and tell me the answers. What is RC value? How much you got? Step 1 is step 1 calculation of RC. Okay, what is the formula? AV equal to RC into HFE divided by HI. That is equal to RC equal to what? AV into HIE. That is equal to, what is the gain? 70 into HIE is 1100 ohms. Okay, HF is
1.54.
Yes, 1.54K. 1.54K kilo ohm resistor. Okay, kilo ohm. Okay, so next step 2. What is step 2? Calculation of RE. How to calculate RE? So for that we have RC equal to VCC minus VCE minus V equal to, so VCC is how much? 12 volts minus VC is VCC by 2. VCC by 2 means 6 volts minus V is 10% of VCC. 10% of VCC is 1.2. So that implies VRC equal to, so how much the value is? 4.8 volts will get. If it is 4.8 volts, then ICQ equal to what is the formula? VRC divided by RC. That is equal to, VRC is 4.8 volts, that is 1.54. What is the answer? Is answer 4.8 by 1.54. Okay, just compare your design procedure stepwise. I given stepwise, and say same formulas I'm taking, I'm calculating here. What is ICQ?
3.1 milli.
3 point. So 3.11, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
3.11 milliamperes. That is ICQ. Now RE equal to, what is the formula? VE divided by I. So that is equal to, VE is 1.2 volts divided by, this is 3.11 milliamperes. 3.11 milliamperes. What is the answer? What is the answer?
$380.
385.8 ohms. Am I right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is step 2. R is completed. Okay. So RC is 1.54K. R is 385.85 ohms. Okay. Next, step 3. Calculation of R1 and R2 is stability factor is equal to, what is the formula? 1 plus beta divided by 1 plus beta. Okay, so RE divided by RE plus RB. So that implies stability factor is 10 is given, equal to, so 1 plus 100 divided by 1 plus 100. Okay. So RE is 385.85 divided by 385.85 plus RB. What is the answer? What is the answer? RB. So you get 3.85K, I think. Please verify it. I got 3.85. Please verify this. Is it right? 3.85K. Please verify.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Stability factor RB is equal to 3.85 kilo ohm. Next, VB equal to VBE plus V. That is equal to VB value 0.7 for silicon. Okay, VE is how much it is? 1.2. So total VB equal to 1.9 volts. This is 1.9 volts. Okay, next. Next one is the VB, where VB equal to VCC R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Okay. So this is from this you can write this portion is equal to VB by VCC. VB by VCC, that equal to 1.9 divided by 12. How much? 9 by 12.
$0.158.
Sorry, 0.158. Yes, 0.158. Okay, so this is R2 by R1 plus R2. Fine. The next one is, but RB is equal to what? RB equal to R1 into R2 by R1 into R2 by R1 plus R2. Okay, so RB is equal to 3.85K equal to RB. Okay, so R1 you keep as this. Okay, R1 you keep as this. So the remaining portion R2 by R1 plus R2 is there, no? So R2 by R1 plus R2. What is the portion that is value 0.18? So in the value you can substitute 0.158 in the place of R2 by R1 plus R2. Okay, so from this R1 divided by R1 equal to 3.85 divided by K. 3.85K divided by 0.158. So the answer is, what is the answer?
24.36K.
Sorry?
24.36K.
24.36K. 36.
Is 36. 24.36K. This is the R1 resistor value. The R2 is what? How much R2? So we know that again you can take this portion, okay, or this portion. So whatever, you take anything. Okay, so just I'm taking this one. Okay. So here Okay, R2 I don't know, so R2 is that we need to calculate, divided by R1 is 24.36K plus R2 equal to 0.158. So R2 is equal to what? How much? Eight. Oh, 4.57 I got. Please verify. Is it right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. R2 is 4.57K. R1 is 24.36K. Fine. So R1, R2, RC, RE. So 4 resistors are completed. Okay. Next, step 4. Calculation of E. Okay. So calculation of CE. Equal to RE divided by 10. So that is equal to what is RE? 385.85 divided by 10. So 38.585 ohms. 38.585 ohms. XE. Now CE bypass capacitor CE equal to 1 divided by 2 2 pi FL into XE equal to 1 divided by 2 into pi, 2 into pi. So into 15 into X is 38.585. So answer is, what is the answer?
Two point 2.75 into 10 power minus 4.
So 2.75
75 into 10 power minus 4.
okay. Minus 4 farad. Okay, approximately 275 micro farad. Micro means 10 power minus 6. Okay, so we can write 275 microfarad. Right. Next one is step 5. Calculation of C1. calculation of C1. Calculation of CC1 is CC1 equal to 1 divided by 2 pi FL into input capacity now, so Ri. So that equal to 1 divided by 2 pi into 15, and Ri is input impedance. Input impedance is what? HIE value 1100 ohms. This is 1100 ohms HIE value. Same way, this is step 6. RC 540 1.54K, so 1540 I'm getting. What is this? CC1 and CC2.
8.9 into 10 to the power minus 6.
CC1 is what?
8.9 into 10 to the power minus 6.
No, sir, 9.6 micro.
CC1 9.6 micro. So 10 power minus means okay. Microfarad. And the CC2 is CC2. Approximately both will get same approximately. What is CC2?
6.8 micro.
6 point. Sorry, 6.8. Okay.
8.
Okay, so these are the values of all the parameters. Okay, so in the software, if you want to implement, so all the values will be available, so no issue. But if you want to implement in hardware means by taking the components, and if you want to connect on the breadboard and you want to see the practical in the hardware components, all these values may not be available. So for this 1.54K, 1.5 kilo ohm resistor will be available, or 2.2. So 1.5 or 2.2. In both, you can take any one of it. Okay, if you want to implement in the breadboard. Okay, so 1.54K is not available in the market. So in the place of 1.54, you can take 1.5K or 2.2K. Both you can take, no issue. So RE resistor, in the place of this, you can take 330 ohms or 470 ohms. 330 ohms or 470 ohms. Practical as a breadboard if you want to do the hardware. 330 or 470 ohms. Okay, and this 24.36 kilo ohm resistor, in the place of it, 27K is available. 27K is available, or 22K, 22 or 27, both you can take. So for this 4.57, you can take 4.7 kilo ohm resistor. You can take 4.7 kilo ohm resistor. And these, for these two capacitors, CC1 and CC2, both you can take 10 micro, 10 micro. 10 micro, 10 micro. So this is even you can take 100 micro. 10, 10, 100. Okay. So suppose 10, 10, 100 means the coupling capacitor, bypass capacitor, there is 1:10 ratio. If you take the 10, 10 here, you must take 100 here. Or if you take 1, 1 here, you must take 10 here. Okay. So 1, 1, 10, 10, 10, 100. Okay. So if you can take 10, 10, 100 or 1, 1, 10. Okay, so these are the values. Okay. I will show you that practice. Okay, so it's completed. Everyone, the derivation
Yes,
the
sir.
problem. Okay, I will show you that practical. I mean, implement results of the circuit diagram. Okay, see, this is what the circuit. Okay, CE amplifier, so 12 volts, and this is I'm taking exact values. Software no, so I'm taking the exact values 24.36 K I got, and this is 4.57 K I got, and this is 1.54 K. This is 385, 10, 10, 100. This is 6 point. Sorry, how much it is? 9.6, I think. 9.6 micro. This is 6.8 micro. This is 2 micro. Okay, so I'm not taking the load resistor here, so I'm not taking. And this source resistance, even you can take 500 ohms to 1K, so I'm taking 500 ohms. Okay, so 20 millivolts peak I'm giving input signal. So peak is 20 milli, so peak to peak is 40 milli. Peak is 20 milli, peak to peak 40 milli. Okay, so this is my CE amplifier. This is my CE amplifier here. Okay, just I'm running the circuit. Just see the result how I'm getting here. Okay. Okay, let's see. This is my result. Okay, so this is my input signal. Channel A is input, right? This is also top one is input and the bottom one is output. Okay, so this is input and output. So this is what and if you see this what I'm giving, and this is 20 milli and the bottom is also 20 milli, so peak to peak is 40 milli I'm giving here. So you see the result here, so minus 19.663 millivolts, that is the minus 20 millivolts negative peak, and the positive peak is minus positive peak 19.6, so total peak to peak is 40 milli here. Okay, so if it, just I showed see 39.02, so approximately 40 milli. Okay, so input is 40 milli here, and see the output, and see the output here. Okay, so you see the channel B, 2.119 volts is the positive peak, minus 2.552 volts is the negative peak. So peak to peak, how much you got? Minus 4.671 volt. So minus is nothing but so that is, suppose if you take that that is the only combination here, and you will get the positive now. Okay, so peak to peak is 4.656 volts peak to peak. Okay, so positive peak is 2.119, so minus of minus becomes plus, so 2.119 volts plus 2.537 volts The total is 4.656 volts. So you are giving what okay, you see the value is what so 4.66 volts is my output divided by, so input is 40 milli, so 40 milli means I can take 0.04. Okay, so what is the gain? My gain is, see, output is 4.66 volts by input is 40 milli means 0.04, so that 0.04, that is 116.5 volt times it is amplified. But how much I calculate, how much the gain I designed, so my gain is 70. I designed for it is 70, so greater than or equal to 70. So 116 is obviously is greater than 70. And that too, why I am getting the so much than this what I designed. I took it is only 70 in my design. I took only 17 in my design, but I got 116. So approximately 46 greater. 46 is greater so than this is 70. So 70 plus 46, that is 116. Okay. So the reason is here I am not taking the load resistor. So if I am not taking the load resistance, is nothing but that is 100. So infinity resistance. The there is no resistor means what? That is it is offering the infinity resistance. But what is the range of the load resistance? So that is 10 kilo ohm resistor to 100k. So if I keep here, I'm just taking okay. So this is 10k. If I'm taking 10 kilo ohm resistor, okay. So now I will show you that. Now I'll show you. So something it will be less. Now see, the voltage is 4 volts. So previously I got 4.66, but now I got only 4.06. The load resistor. So what is our output voltage? The output voltage is across the load resistance. Across the load resistance means if the load resistance is large, obviously the output voltage is also large. If the load resistance is small, obviously the load voltage drop across that resistance will be small. Okay, just I shown. So if previously I removed the resistor, so remove the resistance, but it is offering the infinity resistance. Now I am keeping the 10 kilo ohm resistor, so the voltage drop is 4.06 volts. So now I will show you that the gain. So 4.06 divided by 0.04, how much? 101 times. Okay, so still if you, and again if you want to, so it that completely depends on the load, and here I'm taking only 1k for example. Simply I'm taking only 1k, so the load is, see that load, see the output waveform, the strength, how much it is decreased. Okay, so my output is this is the positive peak and this is the negative peak, and this output voltage is 1.878 volts only. 1.878. So here my that is again if you calculate 1.878 divided by 0.04, that is 46.95 or 47. So that depends. Completely depends on the load resistance. Completely depends. So just I'm taking the 5k, and what will be the voltage? This is 3.6 volts. You see, this is 3.6 volts here. Okay, so if you take the 3.6 divided by 0.04, so that is 90. So clear. So this is what. So thing is that is output voltage. If the load is, so for heaviest gain, if you want to get the maximum gain, okay, that can capable, that can the circuit deliver the maximum gain, that can the circuit deliver. If you want to get the maximum gain, remove the load resistance from the circuit diagram. That is the whatever the voltage that you will get, that will be the maximum voltage that can offered by that circuit with that particular resistor values, circuit component values. ఆ సర్క్యూట్ కాంపోనెంట్స్ వాల్యూస్ తో మీరు యాంప్లిఫైర్ డిజైన్ చేస్తే ఆ వాల్యూస్ కానీ మీకు మాక్సిమం గెయిన్ రావాలంటే యూ జస్ట్ రిమూవ్ ద లోడ్ రెసిస్టెన్స్ ఫ్రమ్ ద సర్క్యూట్. మీకు ఏదైతే వాల్యూ వస్తుందో ఆ వాల్యూనే మీకు మాక్సిమం, దానికి అంతకన్నా మీకు గెయిన్ రాదు ఆ సర్క్యూట్ కాంపోనెంట్స్. మీకు ఫర్దర్ గా అంతకన్నా ఇంకా మీకు గెయిన్ ఇంకా చేంజ్ చేయాలనుకుంటే అగైన్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు గో బ్యాక్ అండ్ యూ టేక్ సమ్ అదర్ రెసిస్టర్ వాల్యూస్ అండ్ డూ ఇట్ అండ్ యూ విల్ గెట్ సమ్ అదర్ రెసిస్టర్ వాల్యూ అండ్ గెయిన్ అనేది మీకు చేంజ్ వస్తుంది. ఓకే, సో ఉన్న సర్క్యూట్ లో మాక్సిమం గెయిన్ కావాలంటే అది. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఇస్ ది ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ది low resistance. So here I will show you that response and what I told. So bypass capacitor, so in this 10 kilo resistor what is the output voltage you are quoting? So I will show you that. I'm taking the load resistance is 10k, my gain is output voltage is 4.074 volts. This is what 4 volts I'm getting as output if I take the load resistance is equal to 10k. Okay, so here I'm removing the bypass capacitor. Here I'm removing the bypass capacitor. What I do? What is the concept of the bypass capacitor? It avoids the voltage drop across RE resistor. It avoids the voltage drop across RE resistor. Okay, so if we remove that bypass capacitor offers the low reactance to the RE resistor. Okay, so if RE resistor low reactance means so the current will not choose that RE resistor path, so the capacitor will use to avoid the voltage drop across it. But now I'm removing the bypass capacitor means there is a voltage drop across RE, so means your output voltage will be decreased. I'm not connecting the bypass capacitor here, your output voltage will be decreased. See, I will show you that. See how much it is decreased. How much? Not even 1 volt. Not even 1 volt. See how much you got? 116 millivolts. 116 millivolts. So here, how much you are getting? You are giving 40 millivolts as input. You are giving. How many times it amplified? 116 by 40 means approximately 3 times. 340, 120. So approximately it's amplified by 3 times only. So your gain is 3. Voltage gain is 3. So see, if I remove the bypass capacitor, so what happens is the current will flow through the RE resistors. So there will be voltage drop. The drop is via VE. The drop is VE. So whatever, so VC. Okay. So VC equal to output voltage. VC equal to VC minus VE. So if you make VE equal to 0, so by taking the bypass capacitor, so your VC equal to VC, this is the maximum voltage. If you are not connecting the bypass capacitor, so this is not equal to 0 and this is not equal to 0, so some voltage will be there. So some voltage, it could be 1 volt or 2 volt or 3 volt or 4 volt, that depends on the RE resistor value and it depends on the supply and it depends on the collector current which is flowing through the collector. It depends on our parameters. The VE voltage, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, it depends. So this is the negative portion. So obviously your output voltage will be decreased. Obviously your output voltage will be decreased. So this is the reason. So for if you not connect the bypass capacitor in the circuit diagram, the output gain will be very less. So how much it is now? You can observe. See how much it is. 116 millivolts, not even 3 times. But previously, how much you got? You got some 100 as the gain, or 116 gain, 116 times. But here, so this is the importance of the bypass capacitor. This is what importance of the bypass capacitor. If you connect, you see how much it is amplified. Okay, 4.066 volts. Okay, so this is what our output voltage. Okay, so if you connect the bypass capacitor, your output voltage will be more. If you're not connected the bypass capacitor, very less, very less. Okay, so and next, if I remove the bypass capacitor, sorry, coupling capacitor, I'm not taking the coupling capacitors here. I'm taking direct connection. What happened? I'm not taking the coupling capacitors. What happens? See, here is my DC signal. Where is the signal? See, my signal is straight line. My signal is straight line. So means that what I told, coupling capacitors are used to divide. Are used to coupling capacitors are used to block the DC signal and allows the AC signal But see, I'm not connecting the coupling capacitor. That's AC. I'm not getting AC signal. This is the DC signal, straight line. I'm getting the DC signal. So, but what we are expecting at output, we are expecting the AC signal, but I'm not getting AC signal. I'm getting the DC signal. The reason is, so whatever. So that is what. So the DCC, this is the DC signal, right? This is the DC signal, and the DC signal is passing, is flowing to the load. The DC signal itself, but because that it is not blocking. The DC signal is not blocked at anywhere, but because I didn't connect any blocking capacitors here. So because of the absence of the blocking capacitors, the DC signal is as it is flowing through the load. So that is the reason I'm getting the load output current, output voltage is the DC signal. You see the straight line. You see the straight line here. Okay. So this straight line is the DC signal, but this is not the signal which I'm expecting. Okay. So very, very important thing is. So by coupling capacitors is very, very important. Okay, so if I take, yes, this is my signal. And one more thing you can observe, the phase angle is 180 degrees phase shift. So input is positive going, output is negative going. Input is the negative going, output is the positive going. So this also I told the CE amplifier exhibit 180 degrees phase shift. If the input is positive going, output will be negative going. So I told the reason also why it is like that. Why if input is positive going and an output is a negative going, I told the reason also. Okay. So this is what? So phase shift is 180 degrees. Okay. So this is a response of it. Okay. And any doubts in this C amplifier? Any doubts?
Sir, can you explain the reason for once again?
Which reason?
Phase reversal. 180
Phase
degrees.
reverse. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the phase reversal is so now see VC equal to VCC minus IC into, suppose if you take RE plus. Okay, so this is the equation actually. Okay, so now, so in this one, what happens is input signal is this. Input I am drawing like this. input I am drawing like this. This is input, my input. Okay, this is my output. Let me draw. So this is input is, so Vi is the input signal. What is Vi? VBE is the input signal. My input are, sorry, not VBE. Let us say VB. Okay, so this is Vi, let us say input signal. So input is keep on increasing. So this is the one still to one portion, another portion. Okay, there I'm dividing with 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4. So first quarter cycle, first half quarter cycle. Okay, so my input is keep on increasing. If my input voltage is increasing, so input current will be also increase, right? But because input voltage is increasing, input current also increase. If input current increase, so IC also increase. Why? Because IC is equal to beta times of IB. So this is increasing, this also increase. If this portion is increasing, so IC portion is, so this product will be increased. This product will increase. So the negative portion is increased. What about the output voltage? This is decrease. So for the same positive quarter cycle, so that will come there down. It will please come down. Next, it is coming back and it is coming down to 0. The next quarter cycle is coming to the 0, and it is coming to 0 means, so the input signal is decreasing, so input current also decrease, and this will decrease. Okay, so what happens is so now this will increase. So Vi decrease, IB decrease, IC also decrease. If so, this portion is decreasing, negative portion is decreasing. Negative portion is decreasing. What about this? This will increase. So now it will come to down like this. And further again still decreasing. So negative voltage. If it is a negative voltage, what happened? And the current also negative. The negative direction it is decreasing. The voltage is negative. The current also negative. And the IC also negative. So minus of minus plus. So again it will increase, further increase. So again it will go to like this. Again it is now, it is coming down to 0. So coming down to 0, and it is keep on increasing now. Right? It is keep on increasing this portion. It keep on increasing means again V increase, IB increase, IC increase, right? So IC increase, and now this will decrease, and output voltage also decrease. Sorry. So IC increase, no. So this portion, so Vi increase, IB increase, IC increase. So this portion is the negative portion increasing, and this will decrease, and again it will come back to 0. So now we compare input and output. So input is positive going, output is the negative going, and input is a negative going, output is positive going. So the phase angle is 180 degrees phase shift. 180 degrees phase shift. Okay. So this is the reason why C amplifier exhibit the 180 degrees phase shift means, this is the reason. So by taking the equation, you have to explain. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Any other doubts in the C amplifier design? Any doubts? Any doubts? Okay, so this is the design procedure, and I ask you to calculate some 3 numerical problems. In the numerical problems, there are some. So first thing is that you have to find out whether it is simplified model or exact model by taking Hy into ZL. If it is less than or equal to 0.1, simplified model, greater than 0.1, exact model. Okay, that depends. So based on that, you can decide whether it is simplified or exact. Suppose if they ask particularly about simplified or exact, okay, in the question, so you have to go with that. So need not to verify with Hy into ZL. Need not to verify. Blindly you can go with that. Okay, but so if they didn't mention anything, you have to verify the condition, then you decide, and then you solve the problem. This is clear. So now, in the question, suppose if they ask you to calculate current gain, voltage gain, input impedance and output impedance, whatever admittance. So without mentioning with source or without source and without that, directly that is your wish. You can even take AI, AV, ZI, Z0, or you can even calculate AIS, AVS, ZIS, Z0S. That is up to you. That depends on your understanding. Okay, and once again I forgot to told you that, and the design is design, there is no standard procedure. There is no standard procedure. So again, once again I tell you, so this is the design procedure I shown, and this is the procedure I told, and we followed this procedure, we calculated, we designed, and we verified also. Okay, but the thing is, so again I can't say that this is only the standard format how everybody has to follow. This is not a standard. So for the design there is no standard procedure. So for example, so suppose if I ask you people, so what is the 2 plus 2? What is the answer? What is 2 plus 2? No answers. Oh, I think you don't know that. Even 2 plus 2 also you don't know. Seriously, you don't know the 2 plus 2?
4, sir.
4.
How did you
4,
how did you calculate this is 4? How did you calculate it? How did you calculate for this 2 plus 2? Don't know? Okay, so then I know that answers are it's very shame. I think we don't know how to calculate 2 plus 2 also. Okay, okay, 2 plus 2 is I took 2 fingers and 2 another fingers. I counted totally, so I got 4. This is one method I have 2 fingers plus 2 fingers. So then I started to counted, and the total I got 4. So that is my answer is 4. So that is procedure 1. So this is like this I can calculate. Or in 2 plus 2 I took 2 as common, so 1 plus 1. Okay, so equal to 2. So into 1 plus 1 again 2. 2 2s are 4. This is another method. Okay, next. So in the 2 plus 2, what I did is I multiplied and divided the 2 each one. So 2 2s are 4 by 2. This is 4 by 2. I multiplied and divided with 2. That is equal to, I took LCM 2. 4 plus 4. So 8 by 2. My answer is 4. This is procedure number 3. Okay. See, I for 2 plus 2 equal to 4, I have 3 procedure. 1, 2, 3. Which one is correct?
All are correct.
All are correct, exactly. So, but you see, the output is same. 4, 4, 4. Like that, there is no standard and specific for design procedure. Okay, so I am following this procedure. But you may do research and you may found some other procedure. But ultimate goal is what? What is our ultimate goal? So whatever the design, whatever the gain we are taking, so we should be able to design that such circuit components. Circuit components we have to design. Okay, so that is ultimate goal. But it doesn't matter whether how you are designing and what procedure you are following. So how we are calculating doesn't matter. The ultimate goal is whether you designed a amplifier which suits my requirement or not. That is only the thing. I ask you people to design with a gain of 70. You do whatever you want. You follow we follow either my procedure, or you find some other procedure, or you find your own design procedure. It doesn't matter. Only thing is whether your designed circuit is meeting my requirements or not. That is only the matter. Okay, so this is the design procedure is not a specific standard, and there are so many procedures. If you go through the different textbooks, and there may be some different procedures also. Okay, so if we go through the different textbooks, you will find the different procedures. It's not a fix. Okay. Okay, like so in your problem, so now come back to, so in the problems if they ask to calculate AV, Z0, so that if by taking a simplified model, exact model, you can calculate it. Taking that formulas, you can calculate. Okay, so but the thing is, suppose for example, if they want if they ask you to calculate, AVS, AIS. Okay, AVS or AIS. So if they ask you to calculate AVS or AIS, so what is the formula? AVS equal to AV into ZI divided by RS plus ZI is the formula. Okay, but in the derivation part, in the derivation part we didn't take R1 and R2. Yes or no? So if I will show you. So see in this circuit diagram, so R1, R2 is there in between the so RS and HIE. So these two resistors I didn't take. Why? Because since these two values are very large, so the compared to input impedance, so I need not to consider. I didn't take this. But coming to the numerical problems, if they want to, if they ask you to calculate AVS or AIS, okay, so this ZI is, what is ZI? ZI is equal to, what is the formula? HIE plus HRE A into ZI. This is the formula. ZI equal to HIE plus HRE into A into ZI. This is the formula. Okay. So instead of substituting that HIE plus HRE A into ZI, so the circuit is this. So RS is there, and so this is ZI is there, and in between that R1 and R2 is there. So we have to take three combination, parallel combination, that we have to put here. So this is R1, R2, ZI. But in the derivation part, we didn't take these R1, R2. But in the numericals, if they want to specifically, if they ask you to calculate AVS and AIS, okay, so R1, R2 will be parallel to ZI. So that cumulative, that equivalent result you have to substitute in the place of ZI. Is it clear? So similarly, AIS is there. AIS is equal to what? RS into AI divided by RS plus ZI. So in the place of this ZI, you have to substitute the parallel combination of R1 parallel to R2 parallel to ZI. This combination you have to substitute in the place of ZI. But if you calculate AVS by taking R1 R2 or AVS without taking R1 R2, there is no much difference. There will not be much difference. There will not be much difference. Why? Because anyway, so ZI is just now I took so R1, how much I got? R1 is how much I got? 24 point something, right? 24.36K, I think, right? So 24.36K parallel to 4.57K parallel to, and ZI is 1.1K. You calculate and tell me what is the answer, the resultant. 24.36K parallel to 4.57K parallel to 1.1K. You tell me the answer, result. So the result is 855.46 ohms. 855.46 ohms. So if I calculate, so in the place of AI, okay. So AVS is equal to how much I get, how much I will get. For example, I will tell you. Okay. Okay, so AV is 70 into ZI is 855. Okay, so divided by RS is, let us say, 500. 500 plus 855 is how much? Uh, uh, 500 plus 855, 1355. How much you got? 44.169 you got. If I take the parallel combination, 44.169. So similarly, if we take 70 into without taking R1 R2 means 1100. Okay, divided by, so 1500. How much you got? 51.33. So what is the difference? How much? 44.167 and 51.33. So that is almost 5 to 6 is the difference, not more, not more than that. Okay, so both they will consider. If we take R1 R2 or without taking R1 R2, both they will consider. That is not an issue, big issue. But the proper procedure is, if you want to calculate AVS and AS, you have to take the parallel combination. That is the proper and correct procedure. But if you forgot to take R1 R2 also, that is also not a big deal, not a problem. So that is also correct. Okay, so that's what I tell you. Design is not a standard. Even you can take R1 R2 or without taking R1 R2 also, no issue. That's not a problem. That's not a big deal. So if you take R1 R2, you got 44. If you are not taking, you get 51. That's it. That's just a 6. 6 is the matter. Okay, that 6 will be compensated some other places. Okay, but our overall output will be same. Okay, so if they ask you AV and AI, so not at all need not to take R1 R2, because only without source resistance they are asking. So you can take it depends on the formulas, you can take it. If they ask you to calculate AVS and AS, in the place of ZI, you have to take the parallel combination of R1 R2 ZI. That's the thing. Okay, this is the correct procedure, but if you forgot to take it also, no issue. That's not a big problem. That's not a problem. Okay, so this is the numericals. Any doubts in this? Any doubts? Please respond.